Over the weeks, Redisa has proven themselves indispensable in the creation of a circular economy. Their tire recycling plan has not only managed to create lasting employment for individuals, it has also had a positive impact on South Africa's environment. But Redisa is interested in more than just recycling tires. Their focus recently has also been in investing in research to determine what kinds of secondary uses there are for rubber. Today, we take you along that journey of discovery. The Mate Group is a registered recycling company under Redisa. Through a large investment, PFE International Incorporated, this company is able to recycle and process high-quality rubber that can be used in a number of ways. Although the only one of its kind in South Africa, the Mate Group plant employs sophisticated machinery that mills, separates, and sieves rubber. These processed rubber pellets are then supplied to manufacturers. Now let's meet the man who made it all possible. Welcome to another exciting and informative episode of PHAKISA. I'm your host as usual, Lerato Za. Now, if you are like me, your eyes must be wide open to the opportunities that are available within the Redisa tire recycling plan. I'm thoroughly impressed with just how this plan has changed the lives of so many South Africans. We know what happens to plastic, and some of us also know what happens to paper when it is recycled, but the all-important question is, what is the process that a recycled tire goes through? Today, we're examining the secondary industry that Redisa is contributing to. We visit the Mate Group in Hammarsdale, KwaZulu-Natal, where we take a look at the advanced technology that they use on the plant and also learn a little bit more about what happens to an 18-inch tire when it is crushed to its finest and purest form. Baba Mate, thank you so much for joining us, lapha ku-PHAKISA. Thank you for your time. Ngiyaphila kodwa baba?
Siyaphila njani?
Siyaphila. Baba, masicale sikhuluma nge-Mate Group. When was it first established?
Yaqala ngo-2010. I-background yami bengi-involved kwi-construction industry. Ngaba ne-opportunity yokuthi ngiforme a-partnership with a Chinese company, i-Covec. Ngabona i-recycling eyayenzeka eChina, ngayithanda ngoba kwakuyinto engakafiki la eSouth Africa. Ngaqala ngafuna indawo ePinetown. Ngangiphuma ngena kuma-companies adila ngamathaya, ngibuye nawo ngiwacrushe, ngithole le crumb. Client yayinkulu eyayisebenzisa le crumb engangiyazi. Kwakuwu-Fun Day Carpet. Kuthe ukuhamba kwesikhathi sisebenzisana, ngibasupplya ngale crumb. Sahlabana thina siwoncanana ngokufoma i-partnership with one of the biggest companies in KZN. Saqale senza ama-negotiations ukuthi how do they buy in 49%.
You touched on abantu abasebenzelayo lapha eMate Group. Let's talk a little bit about them. Babuyaphi, how many people are benefiting from working with Mate Group?
Ngesikhathi ngiqala iMate Group, I only had 8 people. So inumber iyakhuphuka. Siku-45 khona manje.
Ngicela usitshele Bamate nge-relationship yakho ne-Redisa.
URedisa kithina was a blessing in disguise because kuningi asenzela khona. Firstly, ukuletha ithayi kithina asilikhokheli. Silicrushe, sikhiphe i-crumb, siyidayise, bese simthumelela ama-invoices e-crumb esiyicrushile sayidayisa, asinikeze incentive ngokucrusha ka-30 cents per kilo.
Ungakwazi ukusichazela kabanzi about the challenges that one may face when they start establishment efana nale?
Ama-bank awasibheki nokusibheka masithi siyofuna ama-loan bona. I-exposure engiyitholayo manje ngiyithola through Redis because they discovered ukuthi here is the black company eyenza lento i-government yethu asiyenza. I'm very happy ngabo.
Finally, Baba, what are your favorite successes that you've seen through this company yakho, and what are the future plans of Mate Group?
Redisa is opening up their depot in these premises. We'll never ever run short of tires because they will be here. Secondly, I'm looking forward to start the pyrolysis plant. So that is my next move, to see Mate Group growing big
Baba, thank you so much for your time. Sikufisela inhlanhla eningi. We really hope that this plan comes to fruition. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and the challenges that you've gone through.
Yes.
We wish you all the best, Baba.
No, thank you very much.
Qala ukusebenzela iMathe Group eNew Germany ngo-2011 iFoli. Okuya supervisor le Mathe Group and sine staff esiningi is about 35. Then increasile because manje siproduce ucingo oluningi. Kuba yilaka elibhizi because ngifesene nama-challenge yoku-handlisha staff, i-transport esuke ingena ngaphakathi ukudouble check yonke into isesimweni, even i-products ngisenda ama-reports ku-management kanjalo nakubasebenzi siqhubeke sendishe nge-care ne-safety ngaso sonke isikhathi. Ngiphume esikoleni about 2004. Ngahlala njengomuntu ongazange aqhubeke nesikole ngi-check up amatoho up until ngithola umsebenzi eMathe Group. Then from there ngifunda okuningi even empilweni and ekhaya ngiyakwazi ukusupporta manje wonke umuntu osuke engaphansi kwefamily yami. Yebo ngisayimisele ngokuthi ngiqhubeke ngifunde from i-management yami nabaphathi abaphatha inkampani mekufanele sinyuke zonke nezikhundla ngelinye ilanga mhlawumbe ngibe yiposition ukuthatha isikhundla se-management.
I am no economist, but I'm certainly seeing the benefit in investing in a resource like the Mathe Group. I'm certainly enjoying meeting all these wonderful creative people that are bringing positive change to the lives of the people of their communities.
Lebitso la ka ke Raymond Rampologe. I'm the owner ya Bay of Grace Tours. Mosebetsi o re etsang re bontsha batjhaki ba mo hae South Africa le ba tswang mose dinonyane tse fapafapaneng mo Soweto le Gauteng kaofela. Ke qadile ka 2008 hana ke tloela mosebetsi wa ka BirdLife South Africa. Be ke qala business ena ya ho tsamaisa batjhaki di-touristi mo Soweto. Ke bone monyetla wa hore ke rute batjhaki le batho ba mo Soweto. Ka jeko ne re etsa mini assessment, ne re check up a pleke mo re tla tlisang teng dikolo tse 5 tse re di identifyile. Re sebedisana le Waterwise project le BirdLife South Africa le dikolo tse re di identifyile hore re tlo tseba ho tlisa baruti ba tlo ithuta ka importance ya ho hlokomela dipleke tsa rona mo tsamayang teng metsi hore ho important haholo re hlokomele dipleke mo metsi ya rona le teng. Di-clean ups tsena re bone hore ho na le dipleke tsena le mathata mo batho ba lahlelang teng toti ya bona. Re ka rata hore re kgothatse bana ba sekolo hore ha ba khutlela mahae ba rute batswadi hore ha ba tlamela hore ba lahlele toti ya bona la ile hoka. Hape e tla ba thusa le hore ba falole dithutong tsa bona tsa sekolo tsa natural science. Ra tseba hore CAPS ya qala ka 2017 re ba prepare hore ba tlo tseba ho falola di-subjects tsa bona tsa social science. Toro ya ka ko bona dipleke tse tshwanang le di-wetlands, matamo a rona a le clean, batjha le community e tlo tseba ho di sebedisa ka tsela tse leng right. Ke khotse ke le mshimano o tshwanang le ba bang re tsamaya ka di-BMX re ya nahe re bola dinonyane. Empa mosebetsi o ko etsang no go ruta batho ka importance ya ho hlokomela dinonyane tsena le mo dinonyane di dulang teng. Re tsamaya every weekend le group ya ka ya bana ka di-bicycle re ye dipleke mo dinonyane di tholahalang teng. Ho monate o tsamaya ka bicycle hobane ho etsa hore mmele wa hao dule o le healthy haholo. Bana se le bona ba mfounela hore coach re aneng ho ilo palama di-bicycle and ntwe ba thusang ka yona hape o re se ba tlwaetse ho rider off road diplekeng tse tshwanang le tsona tse re leng ho tsona tsena. Ke a kgola organisation ya rona e bohlokwa hore e tlo tseba ho finyella batjhe le batho ba baholo re ba bona hore tlhago ya rona e important haholo ha kanaka. La re le di-townshiping, la re le ditropong ho tlamehile hore tlhago ya rona re hlokomele hobane ho ka etsahala hore future generation di ska kgona ho e bona. Ke ka ho re bona hore ho tlamehile hore re ithute ka ho baleha environment ya rona.
Wow, what a beautiful way of bringing the community together. There really are no bounds on how far one can go with a community initiative, especially if the youth and elders of that community work hand in hand. Stay tuned, because we've only just begun. The production of a tire includes several layers of rubber, thermostat material, and steel. This is all not visible to the naked eye, but it goes without saying that the separation process of all those materials is quite rigorous and involved. This is how it all goes down. Check it out. Roy, thank you so much for joining us here on PHAKISA and for welcoming us to this enormous face of yours.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about what you do at MG.
Well, I'm the plant engineer for the Yamate Group, quite instrumental in putting up the line from the word go.
Fantastic. Now tell us a little bit about the machines that you use here at the plant. I mean, that's your department.
Yes.
What do they do? What are the purposes of the machines?
Okay, the machine is based on a state-of-the-art technology that controls all processes, where one section of the machine liaises with the other in terms of data and communication to get the ultimate results required.
Would you take us through the main three processes that the tires go through here at the plant?
The first process out of the three main, the three processes are the shredding, the rasper, and the millers. Okay, at the shredding, the whole tires go into the shredding, and the tires are stripped into the bigger parts, and then after that, it goes to the rasper section. What the rasper does is it cuts down the rubber into finer particles to 20 millimeter sizes. At the rasper again, the second function of the rasper does is remove the wire from the rubber, leaving the rubber nice and clean for its next stage in process. Then going down to the milling, the rubber is crushed down further to the client's customer's request, and we call it in meshes, in 20 mesh, 30 mesh, 10 mesh, different crumb size.
How many tires are you able to process on a daily basis?
It ranges from about 300 to 500, average of 400, but it depends on how fast we run the line, the type of product for the customer that we are running.
And lastly, Roy, are the jobs here at the plant a bit more high-skilled, or can anybody, just anybody do it?
On the technical side, yes, mechanically, electrically. But other than that, the general shift guys that are in charge of the line and looking after the line have to have a sort of mid-skill, understanding of the process and the lines in terms of safety issue and stuff.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. It was quite informative.
Thank you.
That is so remarkable. I truly appreciate how thorough the process is, because nothing goes to waste. But I'm still not satisfied. I have a question on my mind, and that is, what happens to the product? Surely it can't just be sold to road and tire manufacturers only, right? Tracy, thank you so much for joining us here on PHAKISA and for having us in this really interesting lab.
You're welcome, Zal.
Tell us just a little bit about what you do.
I'm in charge of the production and quality control for the rubber crumb that is manufactured at our Mate Group factory.
Why do you think the work done here is so imperative?
It is very important that our material, which is our final product, meets the customer's specifications. Certificates of analysis are issued with every batch. The product has to conform. Basically, we have different products ranging from different sizes of crumbs. So we're starting from around a 40 mesh or 30 mesh products, being very fine rubber powder, and going up to like 3 to 5 millimeter, which is your 4 mesh.
Tracy, what is the purpose of these little particles? What do you do with them once you have meshed them? And also please explain to me, what is mesh?
Mesh is a terminology like a unit of measure. Like where you would say a 3 millimeter, you'd also have a mesh size for that. So you have a US mesh table. The different sizes that we make, we start off with a fine product for like a 30 mesh, and then we have like a 20 mesh, a 10, and then we have a 4. There's different applications for these. Van Dyke Carpets is our sister company, and they use the 20 and the 30 mesh for a product called Ecolay. 4 mesh is used like for children playground areas, and the 10 mesh, which is very popular, is used for athletic fields as an infill for artificial turf.
Tracy, why does a tire, or rather a mesh tire, have to come here to be tested and processed through a laboratory?
We have product specifications from customers. If for some reason we are making rubber crumb for Ghana, for example, we are binded by a specification by, for example, FIFA specification. On this specification, they would have different sizes of screens that I'll have to use. And the percentage retained and passing, the percentage passing, is very important here. The laboratory tests samples periodically, and this is done like every 2 hours. A sample mass of like 100 grams is placed onto our shaker. Different sizes of screens are used, and the duration of the test is like 30 minutes. Thereafter, a graph is plotted against the standard to see if this conforms to the customer's requirements.
Now, finally, as a woman in quite a male-dominated industry, which is recycling, and also being in the lab, what are your plans?
My future will be to continue working for Mate Group. I'm committed to good quality and production.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Isa.
The Mate Group is asserting themselves as a force to be reckoned with. But above and beyond that, they've proved themselves invaluable. And isn't that just what the spirit of entrepreneurship is? Well, we'll be back right after the break. Ungaindao.
Ntutuzi Maposa, ngiyenza recycling, collecting used material. Recycling ngiqale 2006. Ngibenginganamsebenzi. Ngibona nje amabhodlela egcwele lokushini. Ngabona lapha athengiswa khona eJobeki. Ngacabanga ukuthi awuthi ngidobhe. Ngadobha but ngabona ukuthi khona kude ngase ngihamba ngiyosebenzela eEden Vale. Ngabona futhi ukuthi lokushini nawo amabhodlela amaningi, amaphepha amaningi. Le ndawo ebengithengisa kuyo bathenga amabhodlela, bathenga insimbi, bathenga iplastic, bathenga ibox. Ngaqala ukusebenza nginesifiso sokuthi ngiyenze indawo yokuthenga from elokushini ngoba abantu bebengazi ukuthi khona bathengise kuphi. Ngasave imali for 2 years. Ngakhona ukuthenga isikali okuyitraka kwakudala ukuthi ngikwazi ukulayisha. I'm happy ngoba abantu sebekwazi ukubuya abaningi bezothengisa la. Abantu abasha abanye bayarealize ukuthi umsebenzi ayikho. So they can start being bosses of their own. Uyavuka ayohereza abuya athengise. At the end of the day imali ayitholayo it's almost imali elingana nalabo abantu abavuka besemsebenzini. 30%, 50% markups. Njengokuthi amabhodlela ne kunama-returnable bottles engiwathengayo aya e-distill. Amabhodlela engiwathenga nge-1 rand ngiwathengisa 1 rand 50. Engiwathenga nge-60 cents ngiwathengisa 90 cents. Then i-brewery ngiwathenga nge-50 cents ngiwathengisa nge-70 cents. Ama-returnable bottles lawo. Iglasi ngithengisela omunye ubaba naye ohambisa ku-glass recycling company. Ngithenga 30 cents ngimthengisela 45 cents. I just make a profit yokuthi ngikhone nami ukusebenza nabantu engisebenza nabo ngoba for now nginabantu 13 engisebenza nabo la. Then abaningi laba la ibantu abahamba bezidobhela izinto lezi ababuya bazozithengisa. I-clear plastic ngiyithenga nge-1 rand 50 ngiyithengisa nge-2 rand 50. I-colored plastic le i-mix ngiyithenga nge-1 rand ngiyithengisa nge-1 rand 80 after baling. Kuyangisiza ukubhela ngiyapressa izinto zibe ngama-volumes amancane instead of big volumes. Ngikhona ukulayisha high tonnage at one load. Save i-transport cost. If I will manage to raise enough money, I wish to bring in machine eyokhona ukurecycla kwenza ukuthi nginikeze i-value engcono izintweni engizithengayo. For instance, i-plastic uma ngingakhona ukuyishisa la, then ngingayithenga ebantwini ngemali ephezulu. It will help abantu laba baselokishini ukuthi bathole imali engcono than leyo ngithenga ngayo for now.
Now, let's meet someone whose life has changed drastically through working with the Mate Group. They're able to provide for their family and they found a new lease on life. This is my favorite discovery about recycling, to see just the beautiful and positive change that it brings in ordinary people's lives.
Igama nguSandile Makhanya. Ngihlala eClarota ePinetown. Ngisebenza eMate Group. Umsebenzi engiwenzayo ngumachine operator. eMate Group ngiqala ukusebenza ngo-2011 sise-New German. Singakamuveli la eHammersdale. Into engithanda ngomsebenzi wami uyangisiza ukuthi njengoba nje sisebenza sinyakaza nami ngihlale ngifit. Nomphathi wethu la ekhaya umuntu oright okwazi ukuxoxisana naye mawunenkinga. Sisebenza la eMate Group njengoba ngifike ngo-2011 bekade ngihleli ngingasebenzi. Uqala kwami ukusebenza lana impilo yami ithe ukushintsha ngoba nginomndeni, nginengane nonkosikazi and nginengane engiyifundisayo ezintathu. Ngingasebenzi la eMate Group bengiye ngilibone nje ithayi lahliwe emgaqweni ngitshenze into nje esingasenamsebenzi. Kodwa ngokuqala kwami ukusebenza la eMate Group ngibonile ukuthi ithayi linomsebenzi omkhulu njengoba silithatha si-recycla la ekhaya likwazi ukuthi lenze izinto ey'ningi mase liyirabha. Ukusebenza la eMathe Group mina nje kungivula amehlo ngoba ngiyaqala ukubona umuntu omnyama enenkampani. Bengazi ukuthi nomuntu omnyama uyakwazi ukuthi ayithuthukise ngale ndlela azabe nabantu abamsebenzelayo kube inkampani nje enkulu njengoba nibona nani la ekhaya. Ngibona ngathi kusazoqhubeka nokuthi sisebenze la. Inkampani ikhule izibe enkulu. Ngiyathemba mhlawumbe ngelinye ilanga umuntu ogcina mhlawumbe naye esekwazile ukuthi abe sesikhundleni esithe ukuba xaxa.
Well, it has been said that working with your hands can be quite therapeutic, but I don't think that's the case. Our boy Tswaiza, because he makes working with your hands and being creative so cool and enjoyable. Let's check out our Enviro Hack of the Week.
Welcome to it. It's another Sunday. It's your boy Tswaiza, and I'm gonna give you the Enviro Hack tip of the week. This is as simple can be. It's like OBE, if you may. All you need is this group. Keep out isvalo, use a screwdriver, and just make holes. The aim of the show is just create simplicity and convenience. And what we do is, remember the other week we actually created our own pot plant out of this empty bottle? Look, the plant has already grown. Now, all you do is put some water, clean water, into the bottle. Kwalisa, ufaga hafo, that's your business. And then you dropa isvalo, okwalada, and then you've got your own watering bottle for your plant. It's that simple, guys. But wait, this is dedicated to the beautiful women that love to accessorize. I've got a plan for you. Simplicity, my daughter. The second hack is so simple that zokushaya yona ngeraya. Hater, namhlanje sosebenzisa e-grater. Show all your friends that you're a creator. All you need is a grater and a can of spray paint. Mara mawuspraya lapho. Don't inhale the fumes or you will faint. Kulula amaqiqi after looking so fine. And then you put them in the holes. Voila.
We want to hear from you, and please do share your green ideas by using our hashtag #WasteIntoWorth on our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handle is @PHAKISA. We look forward to chatting with you. Here's what I've enjoyed learning about the potential behind establishing a recycling economy. Through Redisa, so many lives have changed. Permanent employment has been created, and entrepreneurs have found a voice. But most importantly, I am taken aback by the amount of revenue that this organization has amassed in just less than a decade. I've probably said this 100 times, but seriously, turning your waste into worth is something definitely worth considering. All you need to do is do a little bit of research and direct your questions to the right people and institutions. The recycling industry is for everyone at any education and skill level. All you need is dedication and the drive to follow through. Well, that's all we have for you, folks. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. From myself, Leratoza, and the PHAKISA team, sizonibona next week, same time, same place. Khona lapha ku-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Nikhumbule Mzansi. Let's keep the cycle going.